Hello everyone, it's Apple again. So in the past I've gotten a lot of questions on how to choose colors for characters. A lot of people say that they're unsure how to go about it or where to start, how many colors to choose, which ones go together. So I've come up with a few tips on how to come up with some colors for your characters and some fun color schemes. So I'm just gonna get right into it. So for the purposes of this video, I've printed out a few copies of the line art of Nico that I drew digitally a few months ago. So I made a bunch of those, that way I can color them all differently and you can see the differences in color schemes. Alright, so a good place to start is to find a color wheel. I printed this one out from Google, and it's a good place to start because it lets you see all the colors next to each other and across from each other on the color wheel. So just for the basics, as for the basics of color, there's the primary colors, which is red, yellow, and blue. And then there's the secondary colors, which are made up of the primary colors, orange, green, and purple. And then looking at complementary colors, those are the colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. So orange and blue, red and green, yellow and purple. These are just the basics of color. And knowing these is a good place to start when coming up with color schemes. So the first method I'm going to show you is just choosing one color. In this case, I looked at the color wheel, I chose a color that I like, I chose purple. So what you can do with that is you can do different shades of that one color. So here I've chosen dark purples, light purples, as many as I could find. If you only have two, that's completely fine, because I only end up using about, I think, 2 or 3 in this case. So in general, when coloring, I normally go about it by choosing if I want to have a dark color or light color first for the hair. In this case, I went with the dark purple being for the hair. And as you can see, I normally leave a space for where the highlights would go. For the purposes of this video, I'm not going to be doing any kind of detailed shading or shading tutorial. That'll be for another video. This one's strictly about how to choose color. So I went with the dark purple for the hair. And what I would normally do is try to break up where the colors are going. So if I put something dark on the hair, I want to have more light colors being the pops of colors in the outfit, with the darks being kind of in the background. So what I mean by that is I'm going with a purple for the jacket and outfit in this case, and I went with the light purple for the pops of color on the bows and things like that. So I'll usually do kind of the accessories and things like that in one specific color, just to kind of tie them together, and also try to spread out where I put different colors. So I put the light purples in her bow, on her hair, and the bow on her outfit, and then on her skirt, just to kind of break it up. That way it's not all light colors on light and all dark colors on dark. It's good to mix them up. So that's how I go about coloring, especially with limited colors. So the second way you can go about this is you can look at the complementary colors on the color wheel. So as I stated before, the complementary ones are the ones that are right across from each other. In this case, I chose orange and blue just because I happen to like that. Complementary colors tend to go well with each other. So when in doubt, take a look at the color wheel, choose one color you like, and then look straight across from that, see what it's paired with, and you can use those two colors in your color scheme. So in this one, I decided to color the hair in orange, and I went with blue as the accent for the bow in her hair, and I wanted to do blue on the outfit. So for that reason, I chose orange on the bow on her outfit, and then orange on her socks in the bottom, just so I could carry the orange down. And I went with blue in her eyes. That's just a personal choice, just since the hair was right next to it, and I didn't want all orange on her hair, her face, and then on the bow that's right by her chin. So again, trying to split up where the colors are, just so the drawing looks a little more balanced. So now we're going to get into choosing more than just 2 colors. So starting with 3, it might be a little intimidating to choose multiple colors since maybe you're not sure which ones go together. My tip, there's a few different ways you can go about it. One way to do it is to choose one color. So in this case, I chose yellow. And then 2 colors that are complementary. So in other words, across from each other. So pink and green. And my tip is if you're doing a dark color in one of them, try to choose a light color in the other one. Just because it kind of balances out and it looks better, in my opinion. But you can do 2 lights and 2 darks. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So as I stated, I chose yellow, pink, and green. So for the hair, I decided to go with the yellow just to make it a blonde. For her outfit, I decided to go with the green and pink with a little bit of the yellow in the outfit. I went with green in terms of the bows, and I did the pink on the jacket and then yellow on the sweater underneath. And in the end, I was pretty happy with the way I spread out these colors. If you're ever unsure of what to do, you can always take a chance and throw one color down and then just kind of spread out the other ones. So what I try to do is not put 2 of the same color next to each other. I try to space it out. Another way to choose 3 colors is to look at the color wheel and choose 3 colors that are next to each other. So you can either go with, the cool shades, so in this case green, blue, and purple, or you can do the warm shades or whatever you like. So I did another little sketch off camera with green, blue, and purple, and I used the same method that I normally do. I just spread apart the colors, and that's another way to pretty much guarantee that it's going to look pretty decent. So now I'm going to talk about choosing 4 colors. You can choose as many as you'd like and keep going up 5, 6, 7, but I find that choosing more than 4 or 5 colors starts to make it look rainbowy and messy. So personally, I don't like to do more than 4 or 5. But it can be a bit intimidating when choosing so many different colors. So you can go about it by choosing 2 sets of complementary colors, for example, pink and green and blue and yellow, putting those together. Or you can think of a theme. In this case, I kept holiday themes in mind. So for this one, I was thinking Thanksgiving, fall, and I went with orange, red, yellow, brown. I really like that color combination. So I went with those for this drawing, but you can also come up with other ones. So winter colors, summer colors, spring colors, pastel colors, anything you'd like in terms of a theme. That kind of helps coming up with a combination of colors if you can't think of some off the bat. So for this one, I chose to do her hair in brown, and I went with the other colors for the accents of her clothing, and I left the brown strictly to her hair just because I had so many colors to work with. And like I said, I don't like to put any of them next to each other. I like to spread them apart just to make it look more even and balanced. And just to show you another combination of colors, as I was mentioning pastel before, pastel colors tend to be really light and bright. So for these, you can really mix any of them. They don't really have to have a specific pattern like complementary or anything like that. It can just be whatever you think is cute. So I chose yellow, purple, blue, and pink and spread them apart in this drawing. And pastels tend to be light, airy, fun. So you can really put as many of those as you want. I find that they don't really get too messy when you do a bunch of light colors all together. That's just my opinion. I like that aesthetic. So that's another way you can go about it. So those are just 4 tips on how to come up with color combinations. I hope it helped you guys out a bit. When in doubt on where to start, it's always great to look at a color wheel and go back to the basics of it. Because at the end of the day, if you're having trouble coming up with ideas for color scheme for your character, take a look at the color wheel, choose a color you like, and then choose how many colors you want to put into your character from there, and you can have fun with it. So if this video helped you guys out at all, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel to see some more videos like this. I post new videos fairly often, and I really enjoyed making this for you guys. So until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a beautiful day, and happy coloring. Bye bye!